This week in gaming, Battlefield 6 brought back an iconic map. Xbox appears to be in peril. Summer Games Fest had some insane reveals and much more. The Battlefield 6 Blastpoint update added a new map, Cairo Bazaar, and a new weapon, the PP-19. And while the sentiment has been great map, but more big maps please, I think overall it's yet another win for the game. The map is pretty much a straight upgrade from the original Grand Bazaar in Battlefield 3. It also features tons of destruction and has further restored the sandbox gameplay feel that Battlefield 6 has lacked since launch. Of course, it would have been nice to have gotten a second large-scale map like Railway to Goldmud, but I'll take great maps regardless of their size right now. Also, the leaks for Season 4 are flooding social media, and big map enthusiasts have a lot to look forward to. Suru Reef is launching with this season, and it'll be the first naval combat map in the game. As expected on the early concept art and behind-the-scenes development footage, it features a very faithful recreation of BF4's Hainan Resort Hotel. But that's just one section of a much larger map that is, for the most part, an original design. To give you an idea of the map's scale, it currently features 9 flags in Conquest mode. In related news, gameplay of night operations on Battlefield 6 maps is also spreading from recent playtests. One leak shows the Eastwood map at night, and it looks awesome. Hegenthal Base is currently the only map in the game with a night variant. Hopefully DICE are planning to expand the night operations to more maps. Whatever's going on with Xbox these days is sounding more and more dire. This week was full of Xbox news as the brand's executives took interviews with the press during Summer Game Fest. And in a nutshell, due to the insane price increase for components, they're unable to meet demand for consoles and that they're having to rethink their next-gen console codenamed Project Helix. Apparently, Xbox Game Pass lost millions of subscribers after its price was raised last year. In an effort to increase the brand's profitability, Xbox studios are likely facing layoffs and closures. The brand CEO sent a memo to employees this week outlining the next 100 days will serve as a rest period. Bloomberg reports that the reset will include a new wave of layoffs as soon as next month. Xbox's new chief strategy officer, Matthew Ball, also suggested increased advertising could be implemented in some fashion for games to keep our products affordable. Ads in games has been a touchy subject for years. Ball has previously commented on them, essentially saying that increasing advertising in games is the economic reality of the future of this industry. Facing criticism over this take, Ball responded to some media quotes saying that he personally believed that interrupting the game experience would be bad. All that said, it would be worth pointing out that Xbox, according to its CEO in their memo this week, has a 3% profit margin. If they're still pulling that off after losing millions of Xbox Game Pass subscribers, and with console hardware that's nearly doubled in price since it launched over 5 years ago, they might not be as in dire straits as perhaps the layoffs would suggest. Summer Game Fest brought a pretty stacked wave of announcements this week. Metro 2039 got a new gameplay trailer and is now targeting a February 2027 launch. The bits of gameplay showed off in the trailer looked like the classic Metro experience with improvised weaponry, stealth combat, all-out gunfights, monsters, and more. Stalker 2 also showed more of its upcoming Cost of Hope expansion. The DLC is set to launch this summer and is being positioned as a pretty substantial paid expansion with a new campaign in the zone. There is also a gameplay reveal for Impulse, the new movement shooter from Splitgate 2 developers, which launches into early access on June 24. This one looked very clearly aimed at the Titanfall-shaped hole in the market with fast movement while running, sliding, plus, giant mechs. Early previews from the press have been positive, and probably the biggest point of note is that Impulse will be a $20 game, not a free-to-play title. The upcoming early access period will launch without paid microtransactions. Xbox revealed Senua, a new action-adventure game set in the Hellblade universe. It's not Hellblade 3, and Ninja Theory seems to be making a point of saying that this is a different kind of game for the character. It's coming next year to Xbox, PC, and PlayStation 5. Doom: The Dark Ages is also getting an expansion called Revelations on July 7th. It sounds like id Software is going for a colder, more purgatory-themed take on the game, with the Slayer wounded, betrayed, and forced to confront some kind of darker truth. More Doom is usually an easy sell, especially if the expansion builds more on the Dark Ages' heavier, more grounded combat loop. One of the more bittersweet stories coming out this week is the one for Destiny 2. Bungie's final update, Moment of Triumph, pushed the game to the top of the Steam's bestseller list and brought a huge number of players back, so much so that it basically beat the game's concurrent player count record for post-launch updates. Halo Campaign Evolved also continues to be one of the more interesting Xbox announcements. It's a full remake of the original Halo campaign in Unreal Engine 5 with new visuals, updated animation, re-recorded voice lines, remastered music, and a new 3-mission prequel campaign called Operation Meteorite. It's also launching on PlayStation 5, which would have been unthinkable for Halo not that long ago. The official release date is July 28th. Gears of War E-Day also got a bigger spotlight this week, and it now has an October 6th release date. The game is staying console exclusive to the Xbox Series X and S, while also launching on PC and Steam. E-Day is set 14 years before the original Gears of War and follows Marcus and Dom during the first 3 days of the Locust invasion. The big hook is that the Locusts are being treated like a first contact horror event again. Nobody really understands what's coming out of the ground yet, which should give the game a much darker and more desperate tone than the later games. And finally, Spyro is actually back. Spyro: A Realm Beyond is the first all-new Spyro game in years, and the studio behind the game says that the audience for the Reignited trilogy, which was a remaster of the original games, played a huge role in making this new game happen. That trilogy reportedly sold over 11 million copies, which made justifying the new game in the franchise way easier. In a strange turn of events, Valve are ending the physical Steam gift cards. They launched the gift cards in 2012, but sadly the gift card industry is rife with abuse. Valve has tried to prevent scammers from abusing their gift cards, but given how lucrative things like Counter-Strike 2 skins and Steam accounts with lots of paid games in the library are, gift cards were a huge target. Whatever stock retailers had left will be honored by Valve, but they won't be restocking in the future. Quake Champions also got a surprisingly big update for Quake's 30th anniversary, which is kind of wild considering how quiet the game has been for years. The headline is a free Season 30 Battle Pass for everyone with anniversary cosmetics, old QuakeCon rewards, previously exclusive skins, and a new Disintegrator rocket launcher skin. But the actual patch sounds much more important than just cosmetics. It updated the netcode to reduce packet loss, improve lag compensation, and make projectile prediction better. They also removed the old 160 millisecond ping limit, added raw mouse input and NVIDIA reflex fixes, and made a bunch of general performance and stability improvements. For a game that most people probably assumed was dead, this is a pretty interesting and frankly meaningful update for anyone who was a fan. Now up next, if you want to see a deep dive into some of the top picks for games that deserve a remake, check out this video here that I released this week. It's kind of fun to go back and see which games really should get a modern remaster. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.